friends, it's Peggy Noe from PrettyPaperCards.com. I'm here with my little Yorkshire Terrier, Ellie, and she is modeling today. She is modeling for you the ribbon we're going to use in our project. And let me get the name for you because it's so pretty. That's why I wanted to show it to you and have her wear it. Oh, I think it must have come in a double set. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, she's wearing this adorable soft, I don't think it's soft succulent. I think it's mint macaron gingham. And it is really just so cute, and we're going to be using it today. So she's playing Vanna for us today. In fact, while we're waiting just a minute for some others to get on, I think I might look that up. Okay, I'm seeing that I'm on and we're live. So let me just check my catalog and see what that ribbon is, because usually the names are right on the ribbons, aren't they? So let me check, because it's one I just love and I haven't used it too much recently. So I'm going to look back here in my catalog, and she's not feeling settled, so let's put her up here. Okay, ribbon, here we go. Aha, Flowers for Every Season combo pack. And it comes with this is Just Jade 3/8" gingham ribbon and white faux linen ribbon. And you get 5 yards of each, one 5-yard spool of each in the pack. But I have like 2 packs just sitting there because I love this Just Jade gingham ribbon so much. So I hope you guys like it too. Diane, hi. Tammy, good to see you. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm so glad that you're taking a little time of your Friday to pop in here with me and Ellie. And so tomorrow is my birthday. So I have a very special prize for you guys today. For anybody that leaves a comment, I have a special prize because I thought I would just kind of go overboard because tomorrow's my birthday. So I'll show you that in a few minutes. First of all, I thought I'd tell you about, so I'm not going to tell you my age, but a girlfriend took me to lunch this week, and she said, or I was at lunch with a girlfriend, and she told me it was a rehearsal for the big one. So I'll let you just guess. It's a rehearsal for the big one, and it's tomorrow. And I've already received lots of beautiful cards from my downline and friends. And my family is taking me to a Mexican restaurant here over in Poway, a Mexican restaurant that I really like. And so we're going to be, hey Robin, good to see you. So we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow night, and I am in a good mood. I mean, who isn't in a good mood when it's the day before your birthday, right? So I even have 2 cards for you today. So I'm going to put Ellie down so that I can, thank you, Carol, so I can show you everything. So last week's prize was these adorable gold holly leaves. I got some extras and they are so pretty. And the winner of last week's gold holly leaves is Patricia DeSando. So Patricia, I'm pretty sure I have your address and everything. But if you're on today, let me know and confirm with me your address so that I get it to the right place. And I have a new kind of thing that I want to do for my prizes. Yes, 29 again. Robin is right. I told my kids many years ago that I was 29, but then when they became 29, you know, that's a problem. So then they told me I couldn't be 29 anymore, so I had to up that. And then there was a point where I just decided going back to 29. Yep, you're exactly right, Robin. Okay, so the prize for this coming week is, and some of you may have it, but it's from Celebration, but it's not any Celebration stamp set. It's called In Your Words, and it's the stamp set that I think you had to have a $300 order to get this stamp set, and I have an extra one, and I decided because I'm in such a good birthday mood that I will give this for the prize for people who comment next week. Now, I have a little bit of a caveat. I want you to put stamp set if you want the set, because I know some of you might have received it, and I don't want to be sending it to people that don't really want it. So if you want this stamp set, you want to be putting the drawing for the stamp set in your words from the celebration that just ended, let me know and put the word stamp set as a comment, or with other words, you know, if you want to say something and then put stamp set, I will see it. And you have until next Friday at about noon or a couple hours after, right before, I always look at the names right before I come on. So put stamp set and you'll be placed in the drawing. And also be prepared to connect with me and give me your addresses, because I have some people that I wasn't able to reach and give their prize on past days. So if you want it, put stamp set. And I really want to give this to somebody who really wants it. Thank you, Roz. Thank you. Okay, now more news. A reminder about my host code gift for this month for anyone that orders over $50 and uses my host code, which is right above here in the description. I am giving you, I will send you free as my gift to you, a package of 8 of these adorable craft and gold dotted boxes. And they are they're scalloped, super easy to put together. They won't be decorated, but you can decorate your own. And they're like 3.5 inches deep. So that is your host code gift if you use the host code on an order in my online shop of $50 or more during the month of October. Okay, now we're going to get started pretty quick because I have 2 cards to show you. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put the camera down. There we go. And what I'm going to talk to you about today and make cards with is this preview of the Eden's Garden stamp set. Diane, stamp set. Okay, good. So what I'm going to use today, this Eden Garden bundle, actually, you can get the stamp set or the bundle with the dies or the dies separate. It's a preview, an early release actually is what they call it, from the new spring catalog that goes live in January. But they're releasing it early. As a demonstrator, I was able to order it in the month of October, and possibly some of you who are demonstrators have already gotten it. I think one person told me before that they did. So I want to show it to you because I've made several cards using this set, and I want to show you all the beautiful things that it does. So stamp set, dies, we're going to use a die, and I also want to show you the paper. I've showed it to you before, but I want to show you again. The reason is it goes live for customers on November 2nd. You can get this paper. It's a specialty paper, and there are 12 different patterns, 6 on one side and 6 different patterns on the back side of each of the sheets. And you get 2 of each sheets. The front side has gold, and I'm going to hold it up so you can see the different gold sparkles, different gold patterns in it. It's beautiful. And then the back side has some plain, more just patterns that would go with the front sides. The colors are soft succulent, evening evergreen, and white and gold. And the reason I really want to draw this to your attention is because this is a limited release. The stamp set and the dies, the bundle, will be in the new mini catalog coming out in January. But this paper is only, I don't know how long it runs, but I know it's limited. Supplies are limited. We can get it now. You guys can get it starting November 2nd. And so it won't be in the new catalog. So this is the only chance you have to get it next month. And that's why I'm going to use it today. And I'm going to show you a lot of cards that I've been working with this. And I want to show you some of the cards that I've been making and the stamps. So I love the stamps. They are distinctive stamps, which you know I love. And here's a card I made using one of the patterns of the paper. That's the main thing, is I wanted to show you some of the paper patterns and the dies. Now with this card I use the TaylorMade tag dies, which are in the annual catalog, and you can get those anytime. I love them. And then I used this die here, this inside one. They're leaves and flowers, and I used that with our in color shimmer vellum to put this border around. And this is one pattern right here of the designer series paper. Here's another pattern, and here's a third pattern. And the card opens up like this, and I put a stamp inside, and I put "Let's Celebrate." So so that's one sample card showing the different colors. I think they're beautiful. They're just gorgeous. Oh good, you just got it, Diane. I knew one of you had gotten it. Okay, here's probably the fanciest card I made. I stamped the largest stamp from the set. This is a beautiful floral distinctive stamp. I stamped that on the envelope, and then here's the card that I made. This card uses, this is one of the designer series papers, which I really love. This is one of the stamps that I just went ahead and put on the edge there. I cut it's Evening Evergreen design cardstock with this piece of designer series paper on it. And then for the edging, I use this edging die that goes like that and cut the edging. I'll put that up a little higher so you can see. And then there are leaf dies, this little leaf, and I guess there is a leaf die, but it's really got a lot in it. And so I cut 5 or 6 of the leaves and just stuck them in there under the triple layer scallop circles that were done from the layering circle dies. So this is, like I said, it's probably the fanciest one, but I really liked it. And of course the sentiment is from this set, and it's stamped in Evening Evergreen. I really liked this one. Hi Jean, you got yours too? Oh good. Now you can hopefully get some ideas. So this is when I decided to just pull in another color, and I used a polished pink. Is that it? Polished pink. And look at how beautiful that stamp is. It is so beautiful. And remember, it's not going to be, you're not going to get what you might call a full imprint, because it is the distinctive stamp. And then I did one in the soft succulent. I put some of our pretty in color gems there. Ran a ribbon across this. Now this we're going to use today. This is like a label die. This one, in fact, I'll leave it out because we are going to use it. And it has really, really pretty leaves on each end. And so that's what you see here. Isn't that cute? And again, the stamp set for the envelope. And then I decided to try one with red, even though it isn't a Christmas set. You know, I mentioned it's in the spring catalog. Thank you, Roz. Hi, Kay, good to see you. So I decided to add some real red and see what I thought about that, just because it is almost Christmas time. And I think it turned out pretty good, just a little different arrangement. You're seeing a different one of the designer series papers, and the gold is subtle, but it is, let me see if I can get it so you can see it. There are little gold dots in that designer series paper. And then I added some of our real red rhinestones. And of course, some of those adorable little, the little leaves, the gold leaves, that was my gift this week, and then a leaf inside. So those are my samples. Now, what are we going to do today? So we're going to make 2 cards, and we're going to start with this one. When I discovered that this gingham ribbon that I put in Ellie's hair, when I discovered this looks so beautiful with these colors, I just had to do it. So this is what we're going to make today, the first one. So let's just get started. Here's everything we need, and I'm going to, let me see this. I'm not sure if this is cut exactly right. 4 1/4. Got my paper trimmer here. We'll cut that down and we'll score it at 5, because it's going to be an open one. It's going to be that different look. So we're going to open it this way. And we'll use our bone folder there. And this is simple. I wanted to do a simple one just to show off the gorgeous, this is actually my favorite piece of the designer series paper so far. Okay, and then we're going to add another layer with a 4" by, that is 4 inches, okay, by 5 1/4 inch piece of the same soft succulent cardstock. This has been a super favorite color. I know many of you love it. The gold holly leaves really looked great. Yes, they step up everything, Jean, seriously. Okay, and then we need to cut our pretty designer series paper, and we're going to cut that to 5. It might be 5. No, not quite. This is going to be 5 by 3 3/4. No, I think I'm going to pull it in further. What is the dimension there? Let me grab my ruler. I didn't write these down. I'll try to write them down on the YouTube video. Okay, 3 1/8 by 4 1/2. Okay, so this is going to be 4 1/2. I know I wanted to really show it off and have it be just a little bit smaller than a normal. Okay, so 3 1/8 by 4 1/2 there. So we're going to go ahead and do our layering, and we'll just glue the designer series paper. See, there's a pretty pattern on the back, and you know how the designer series papers work. I mean, you can just use them right together like that. Use the back and then use the front, and they're made to do that. They're made to go together beautifully for you. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to go ahead and put this layer on with Stampin' Dimensionals to lift it up. No, I'm not. Oh, good thing I remembered, because we need to tie our ribbon. I almost made a big mistake. Let's see if this one will be big enough. That's the trick, is to tie the ribbon before you put this down. Silly me. Okay, and again, this is so gorgeous. It's in the annual catalog, and yes, really, soft succulent is in your top 5, Jean. Very, very wise choice. It is just so beautiful, and it has a tinge of blue. I always love colors. I love reds that have a little blue in them. I tend to really like that. So we're just going to tie this in a bow here, like this. And you can pull it over, adjust it wherever you want. You might want to have it way over to the side. It's completely up to you. And then I'm going to pull my tails down a little bit. And then we'll trim the ends of the tails. Okay. Where are my scissors? Here they are. Alrighty, we'll just trim those little tails. And you know, you could definitely do a knot, or because some people I know don't like tying bows, and if you want to do a knot, that's totally fine. Or you could just put the strip around and glue it to the back of this piece, so it would just be just a plain strip. That'll work also. And then we're just going to put our dimensionals and lift that up, and this is what gives it the real, I think it's what gives it the really nice look, the elegant look, is when you lift up panels. I know my friend Brian King does that a lot. He uses a lot of panels, and it always looks so beautiful. I just love it. Okay, so now we're going to put this on, like that. And now all we have left to do is, I left these tails longer, is make our sentiment. So that's right. We also want to put a piece of basic white on the inside. So let's cut that, and then we'll stamp that while we stamp our sentiment. We'll do all of our stamping at the same time. Okay, this is already 3 3/4, and so we're going to do it at 5 for the inside piece. And I think I'll stamp on this and then I'll cut it. We'll stamp the sentiment. I've got plenty of paper here, so we can just go to town. So I'm going to stamp on the inside. What did I do on the other one? Oh, I just stamped a leaf, but I'm going to do the flower this time so that you guys can see how beautiful this flower is right when it's stamped. It is, I think the word I might like to use is scrumptious. It really is scrumptious. So let's ink it up, and we'll just put it on the lower right-hand corner of the inside piece. Isn't that so pretty? Crazy about it, just crazy about it. Okay, so let's get this on the inside of our card. And you see how easy this really is to make, and yet I think it really is a pretty card that anybody would love to receive. The one nice thing about these sentiments in this set, you know, it talks about hugs and hello and things like that. They're just nice sentiments. They're loving sentiments. So there's the inside. Okay, now we're going to stamp our hello there is the one we're using. And for this, I'm going to go ahead and use the Evening Evergreen ink because it's darker. Now, the one thing I discovered about these sentiments is that they're in a way thin. Their font is a thin font. So I'm not going to do it now, but for some of my cards, what I did is I used the Stamparatus so that I could make sure to get a nice, you know, deep print of the sentiment. So we've got plenty to play around with here. Let's just test that. Okay, I'll try it one more time and see if I can get it a little bit darker. But you see what I mean about how it's a little thin? Okay, we'll try it down here. About the same. So if you want a darker look on the sentiments, use the Stamparatus. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to trim this piece down. I think I'm going to use the one up above, and I'm going to just trim it down so it'll be a nice size for coming out of the bow. I'm going to trim it just a little bit more. I could have had a preset, pre-cut piece, but I didn't. Okay, so for this one, I want to make sure I have the whole sentiment in there. Where'd it go? Back. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Hello there. Maybe I'll trim the top just a little bit more. Let's see. Do you guys do this? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, here we go. So now we have our sentiment, and I do need to get new blades. They're making a little, they kind of have a little thing. Okay, so all we're going to do is cut this so it sits right in there. And what I'm going to do is give it a flagged end. You know, I like to do that. Now, you could run your sentiment any way you want. You know, it could be straight across. This is just a real basic design. I wanted to make a card that's easy, that you can use the pattern, the design right now, but you can also see how it looks with the Eden's Garden. Just like that. Now, I think I will raise that up on a couple dimensionals. And just to give it a little bit of height. And let's see how it looks. Tuck that end under. There we go. Isn't that cute? I think that's a very cute little card. And it works for anything. It works for just any occasion. And let me see. I guess I don't have extra envelopes, but I would stamp that beautiful flower on my envelope. Okay. Now the second card, this is the one I really wanted to show you. It is a cute little square card. Isn't that cute? And for this one, we're going to make the background. This background is stamping tone on tone with that beautiful flower stamp. Heat embossing in clear. Very excellent idea, Jean. I think that would really totally work. I really think that would work. Okay, so this is our little square card, and the measurements here are 8 by 4, and we're going to score it at 4. I could have made it a little bit bigger at 4 1/4, but I'm not crazy about numbers, and if I do it right at 4 and 8, to me that's just so much easier to remember. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. So now I have a gold layer that I'm going to put in, which is 3 3/4 plus an 1/8. Some of you number girls tell me what that is. 3 7/8. And on top of that, we will put our 3 3/4 piece of soft succulent after we stamp it. And so we're going to stamp this with the beautiful floral stamp. I'm going to use this little piece of grid paper down here under it. Here's our stamp, and so tone on tone is soft succulent on soft succulent. And I really like to do tone on tone. I don't know about the rest of you, but I always like doing tone on tone. So we're just going to ink up our stamp, and you just start going around and seeing, you know, kind of trying to fill in the entire thing. This is really could be called making your own designer series paper. It really could be, because that's pretty much what you're doing. You just fill in the corners, and let's see, I'm trying to look at the stamp and see how I can get the most of the stamp on the page. I think that's pretty good. I think we did pretty well. And now I've got a little square envelope here. I think they're 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I got them from Amazon. And so I'm just gonna put our little flower on there. And oh, I also have a little piece of white to go on the inside, so we're gonna do the same thing and put our flower in there. Okay. We're done with stamping for the moment. So now we're ready to put together our card, the basics of our card. So let's put our little liner piece on the inside, especially when you're using a dark color like Evening Evergreen. You've got to have, you just have to have a piece of white, or, you know, a lighter color. Like you could have put soft succulent in here. That definitely would work. And I think I've cut this at, so that was 4. I think I've cut it at 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. I kind of like a large edge around there. Okay, so our inside is in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this. Well, you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use glue on the first one. Going back and forth, because on top of gold, glue isn't always the best thing to use. So on top of this, to adhere the other piece, what I'm going to use is, oh, I shouldn't have done that. This is why I didn't want to do it, because the glue shows through, but that's okay. I knew there was some reason. See how that glue is showing through? Can you see that? It tends to show through the gold foil paper, and that's why it's not as easy. I don't think glue works as well to secure the paper, something else on top of the gold. Do you all have those kind of issues? So what I'm going to use here is my Stampin' Seal Plus to put our stamped piece on top. So I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus. And the best thing to do when you're using this is just barely release it at the bottom. And it tends to work pretty well. Now, the only thing is, you have to pay real close attention when getting this on, because it doesn't move like the glue does. So, I was a little bit too far over to the left, but not bad, not bad. I give myself grace in stamping, don't you? I think that's nice to give ourselves grace. Okay, so now we're going to cut our gold piece, our gold little sentiment piece, and I just need to find that die, which I had out a minute ago. You know, it's so funny how this happens. I lose things right in front of me. Just hold on 1 minute. There it is. It's hiding. Okay, so we're going to get out our mini boss, and we're going to cut this sentiment piece. I don't know what you call it. What would you call that? A label, kind of a label, I think. Might be a better term for it. Put our top plate on. It doesn't stick as well on my pad here, so there we go. There it goes. Great. So here's our little piece, and let me use my take your pick tool to get it to pop out, and it does have some little edging that pops out too, these little pieces that come out. So we'll pop our label out. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I just think it's so pretty. It has a little tiny dot on there. I wonder if that came from the plate, from my embossing plate. Yep, it looks like it's a little piece of glue. Well, we might just have to put one of those pretty leaves on top of that. I told you, the glue is like a nemesis to to gold foil. Okay, so we're just going to put it right across here. We can go ahead and put this on using Stampin' Dimensionals. And I think I'm going to use 3 here to hold it in the center, because we're going to put our sentiment on 2 different circle die cut pieces. And I want it to be nice and strong in the center, so I'm going to make sure to add, whoops, oh dear. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to just try to get that straight across. It barely extends past the card, but because the envelope is 4 1/4, it'll work just fine. Hey, Robin. You could cut your label out of your big piece of gold before gluing it to a card. No one would know as you covered it up. Very good idea. Very good idea. Yes. Also cut your label out of your big piece of gold. Yes, in the middle. Robin is always telling me wonderful ways to save paper. And so I have my full gold behind here, but it would have been pretty smart. I could have even done it at an angle. That would have been great. Great idea, Robin. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we've got 2 squares, and I'm going to use some scallop circle dies. And we're going to stamp the sentiment here, and we're going to cut that out and then cut this other one. And for this card, our sentiment is going to be sending hugs. And here's my evening evergreen. I think the evening evergreen makes it stand out a little bit more. And usually it's best to stamp before you die cut. Okay, that came out very nice, sending hugs. But you see what I mean about how thin, the font is very thin. It's a beautiful font, but it is a bit thin. So let's bring up our machine again, our little baby boss. And the one nice thing here is that we can run both of these through at the same time. We can run through, I'm going to try to get this up so that you can see it. We can run through our sentiment up high with the circle on that, the scallop circle, and then run through our designer series paper also. So we only have to crank once. Not bad, huh? Okay, so we're going to put that on and just zip this through here. And then we have our 2 circles, and we're just going to layer them on top of one another, and that's that. So here we go. The paper is so pretty. I was looking for any occasion to use it more, and that's why I wanted to use this one. Doesn't that just look so pretty? I love the paper. I just love the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and put this circle down first. I'm going to put 2 Stampin' Dimensionals right on that label, and then layer this over like this. And then we'll do the same thing with our sentiment circle. That just looks pretty all by itself, doesn't it? I just love that gold. Gorgeous, gorgeous. The gold leaves in there. Okay, and here is our little sending hugs. And there's your card. There's your square card. And it's got its own little darling envelope. Isn't that just cute? I think you guys are going to love this stamp set, this entire bundle and the papers. Let's just run through. I'll show you the cards again because some of you might have come in a little bit late. And so here are the 2 cards that we made, okay? We made these 2 today. And then I'm going to get out all the others that are samples here for you. Okay, so we had this one also used circles, and it pulled in some red, and that's where we used those pretty leaves. Then we had the one that just really uses the stamps, no designer series paper, but in a different color, showing off how beautiful the stamp set is. And then we had the more formal one with the gold, and again the circles. I think I'm on a kick of circles, don't you? And that opens up like that. And then the last one is the tag one, where this is die cut. That's one of the dies, and that uses the shimmery vellum and soft succulent. And that other little tag that says, "Let's celebrate." I just think these are so cute. I'm so happy that I had this opportunity to share with you all the different possibilities of the Eden's Garden set. So be watching for that November 2nd. And don't forget, let me see, where is my stamp set here? Don't forget, I think it's buried over there. But I'm giving away as a prize for next week a full stamp set. It was the one in your words. Here it is. I just have to get it to show you because I like it too. It's in your words. It was the one that you could only get with I think it's a $300 order through Celebration. And I have an extra one that I wanted to share with you guys. So if you want this, if you want to be in the drawing for this for next week, put stamp set in your comment, because I want to be sure to give it to somebody who really wants it. And be prepared to come back the week after, or prepared to come back next week to see if you won, because sometimes I don't get the addresses, and I really want to get your address so that I can send you this set if you win it. So be sure to put stamp set in there. And happy Friday, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be back next Wednesday with another Facebook Live tutorial. Thank you. Bye-bye.